and welcome to the NinjaTrader Indicator Warehouse. Today we are going to cover the 1-2-3 formation indicator. A 1-2-3 is a strong reversal and trend signal. It is very reliable and occurs when a market makes a new high or low. Here is an example of a 1-2-3 topping formation where the 1 is the new high that the market has made, the 2 is support, and then the 3 point is actually a failure point, a point where the market has tried to recover to the 1 point but fails and heads lower. Your entry signal is actually given when the market breaks the number 2 point and falls away from there. So you can see that is your sell signal. A 1-2-3 buy would be just the opposite, where the market would make a 1 point on a low, a 2 point on a high, and a 3 point on a subsequent low, which failed to take out the previous low. As I said, the 1-2-3 formation is a very reliable formation and a favorite among swing traders and trend traders alike. The nice thing about the 1-2-3 formation indicator is that it is fully customizable. You can adjust the sensitivity and even use it to suggest a placement for your stop loss order. Let's take a look at how to set up the 1-2-3 formation indicator. To set up the 1-2-3 formation indicator, go to your indicator panel and find the 1-2-3 formation from the assortment of indicators. Add that to your panel so that you can load it. Now let's take a look at the settings that are available. The nice thing about the 1-2-3 formation indicator is that it is fully adjustable to your own preferences. The first parameter is the maximum number of bars. Now what this does is it sets a maximum number of bars that the 1-2-3 formation has to complete in. The idea here is that if the market is taking too long to complete the formation, it's lacking the required momentum for a serious breakout below the number 2 point, or above the number 2 point, depending how the formation is setting up as a topping or a bottom formation. The default is set at 20, and it's relative to the time frame that you are trading. So for instance, if you are trading a 1-minute chart, then a 20 period might be adequate. However, if you are trading, say, a 5-minute chart, you might want to lessen this to perhaps a 12 period, which would be an hour on a 5-minute chart. 12 5-minute bars would be an hour. Certainly, if the formation does not develop over the course of an hour, it's probably not going to be that strong of a formation. So we're looking at a 5-minute chart here, so I will change that to 12. The next setting has to do with the minimum number of ticks between the 1 point and the 3 point. Now, as a default, this is set to 0. And what this means is that the 3 point can retrace all the way back to the number 1 point, so long as it does not exceed the value of the number 1 point. Now, in theory, you do not want to see the number 3 point retrace too far back to the number 1 point. The reasoning is that if the number 3 point forms too close to the number 1 point, then once again the market may be lacking the strength required for a serious breakout. But that is just market theory. I have seen number 3 points make deep retracements and still give a good breakout, and shallow retracements and give a good breakout. However, it's my own personal preference not to let the number 3 point get too far back. But since this indicator is fully adjustable and customizable, you can also set it to whatever preferences you would like. Keep in mind that this setting is also going to be sensitive to the market you are trading. In this example here, we're going to be looking at an E-mini chart where there are only 4 ticks per point. Other markets will have as much as 10 ticks per point. So for the E-mini, I'll set it at 2 ticks. And what that means is that so long as the number 3 point does not come more than 2 ticks of the number 1 point, the signal will be considered to be valid, and the indicator will indicate such on the chart. In the next part, the indicator gives you the option to view the topping formation or the bottoming formation. The idea here is that if you have a positional bias, you may choose to eliminate either topping signals or bottoming signals. But for our purposes, I'm going to leave both values turned on. To turn them off, you would use the default setting. Calculate bar on close, default is true, unless you want to see the formation signal as the bar is developing, but that's not really necessary for this particular type of indicator. The rest of the settings down here are pretty much the default settings. A nifty little feature that this indicator has is that it also has a signal alert an audio signal alert when the signal completes. So when you get a bottoming formation, you will also get an audible signal that the market has made a bottom formation, and the same thing is true for a topping formation. If you're a really high-tech trader, you'll notice that there's also a space here for you to put in your email address, in which case the program will alert you via email that a topping or bottoming formation has occurred. Something that you might find useful if you're actually trading away from the office. Not only does the 1, 2, 3 indicator plot the 1, 2, 3 formation, but it also gives you buy and sell signals. So the buy signals, because they're traditionally bullish colors, are in green, and you can certainly choose any color that you like here. About the only thing I ever change on these is I make the signal triangle more noticeable, so I'm actually going to make that a little bit larger. The sell signals, same idea. It's a reddish color because red is traditionally a bullish color. Here, once again, I'll make the setting a little bit larger than the default setting. The swing high and swing low. These will be very helpful if you like to use swing highs and lows as stop loss parameters. They are currently set at transparent, meaning that you won't see them on your chart. However, you can set your swing highs and swing lows any color you like, and we'll look at these in just a minute, but so that you know they're available here. The last things that we have to adjust here are the indicators themselves. You do have the option of backfilling your signal, your 1 signal and your 3 signals, and I'll show you in a moment what those are going to look like. And once again, that's just to make them a little bit more noticeable. Offset markers, offset numbers, these are just parameters to adjust the spacing of the indicator relative to the bars on the chart. The text, this would refer to the bar size, the indicator size. And once again, I'm going to not necessarily make it larger, but I will go for the bold setting just to make it a little bit more noticeable. And because I'm trading on a white background, I'm going to darken the buy signal, the bottoms, and red is good for the sell signals. All right, so those are our different settings. Let's apply those and take a look at what they look like on our chart. So here we have our 1, 2, 3 indicator on our chart, identified by the 1, 2, 3 indicator in the upper left-hand corner. And you can see that here the market has identified a 1 point. It came down and identified a 2 point. And you'll notice that the 2 point is also a 1 point. So the sell signal is in red. The buying signal is in green. But the buy signal does not complete until the 3 point. Now we have our 3 point backfilled. That was one of our options in the setup, just to make it more noticeable and to alert us to the possibility of a sell signal here. And the sell signal completed, here is our sell signal as identified by the reddish arrow. And this was our selling bar, and you can see that the market fell off quite nicely from there. Let's take a look at the 1, 2, 3 formation in action. Here we have the 1, 2, 3 formation indicator in action. We have a market that has just made a new high, a number 1 point. We have our swing point bottom, our number 2 point, and we are just waiting for our confirmation of our number 3 point. The number 3 point will confirm as soon as the bar closes below the number 2 point. If you wanted to be a little bit more aggressive on your trade, you could certainly sell the number 2 point before the number 3 point is confirmed, but that does take a little bit more risk and put that into the trading equation. You'll notice that I have my swing high and swing low indicator turned on, and all this does is highlight which bars have made a swing high and which bars have made a swing low. Something that can be very useful to you if you're looking at trailing an exit stop. But right now we are just waiting for the confirmation of the number 3 point, and that will be our signal to sell. I'm going to fast forward the chart a little bit until the 3 point completes. Okay, so now we have our number 3 point, we have our sell signal, and so we're going to sell the market on a move or a continued move lower, and we can use the swing high, which is indicated by our little red dot here, as a place to hide our exit stop. I'll fast forward this trade. Well, after moving against us for a little bit, the market has moved us into profitable territory. The 1, 2, 3 formation being a very strong topping formation. I'll forward this chart a little bit more and we'll just see how the trade completes. Okay, well, this trade is coming along quite nicely for us so far. You can see again how the swing highs and swing lows, well, the swing highs are more relevant to us right now because we've sold this market, but how it highlights which bars might make a good position for an exit stop. Currently we're up $337 to the good, and the market is still moving in our favor, so we'll try to increase that profit margin a little bit more. But that's how the 1, 2, 3 indicator works. A very powerful reversal and trend tool. Something that's definitely worth adding to your trading arsenal. And remember, whether you are day trading the E-mini S&P, other futures contracts, or Forex, Indicator Warehouse will help you get more profit from your online trading and technical analysis efforts. Thank you again for joining us.